Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to Not Perfect Zen. I'm grateful to be able to be doing a video today. It's been, well, over a week. I think the last one I did was March 10th, but there was spring break last week. Plus I was a little bit sick. And then on St. Patrick's Day, I fell. And so old people don't do well when they fall. And I didn't break anything, but I'm hurting from my big toe up through my shoulder, but I'll be okay. And today is March 20th. And so I wanted to do something happy and flowery for the first day of spring 2022. And I also found this pattern called Line Dancing from Tricia Long. And it's a fun little tangle, but I wasn't sure what to do with it or what to add to it. And so I'll just show you both of these on this one tile and we'll see how it goes. The tools I'll be using are a Micron 01, a graphite pencil, the white charcoal pencil, and 2 blending stumps. And I'm not going to do a border or anything like that. This is a 4-inch by 4.5-inch tile that I cut, and it has these little holes at the top because it goes in my disc binding system. And if you're interested in that, there is a tutorial in my YouTube channel to show you how I do that. And that's just my favorite way to store tiles. Excuse me. So I'm going to show you, first of all, I found this step out on Instagram. It was actually part of the Pattern Collections website, and that website's gone. But I'll try to leave you some information on how to get to that, possibly. Anyway, I'm going to show you first how she did the step out, because I don't do it her way. So she starts with just these wavy lines, just basic, up and down, all the way as far as you want it. Let's just stop there. And if you stop like that, then she puts like a little fescue on the end. And then the way her step out is set up, she puts like a little, I don't know, little thing on each of these. So it's kind of like a little kernel or something. I don't know what to call it. Going across here. And these kind of point in that direction. And then down in these, she did the same thing, kind of pointing that way. What these end up being is the ends of these little things. And I'll show you, like on here. I did not find this part easy to do, the way that she did the step outs. Anyway, so now you come off, if you look at the top of this, we're going to come off the top of this, go down in and make a loop around this, and then connect to it. Okay. Do the same thing here, come around, connect. Okay. Same thing here, come around, and connect. And then you're going to do the same thing at the bottom. Now, I'm going to tell you, I made a mistake the first time because I flipped it over and then did that. Don't flip it over. The ones down here at the bottom need to be going the same direction as the ones on the top. And by that, I mean you're going to come from the bottom, come from the right, go towards the left, just like we did on the top ones. Come up and around and connect. And again, come up and around and connect. Okay, so that's how you do the start of this if you're following her step outs. Let me flip this and show you how I do it real quick. That's different. So make your little waves like so. But instead of doing the little dots in here, I just go ahead, sorry, get my hand out of the way. I come off the top and just make my little wave and come around. To me, that was a little bit easier. Same thing here. Come around. Okay, and then come off the bottom. And again, we're going to go in that direction with our little curls. Okay. All right. So for me, that was a lot easier to do. And then we continue with the rest of that. Okay. So I thought I would do that as just a diagonal type thing across the center. And so I'm just going to start, and again, trying to keep my hand out of the way. I'm just going to make my little wavy lines. I tried making this into a border all the way around the outside of my tile, and that really didn't look right to me. Okay, so let's just bring this one. Well, I went off the screen. So I just brought that one down. And now I'm going to put my little teardrop ending there and at the beginning of this one. Okay, so we just have that wavy line across the center. And now I'm going to make my little curls that come off the tops. And I didn't mean to leave kind of a line up there, but it's okay. All right. So now we're going to go from the bottom. Come up and make our little curls. And they're kind of in the center of this wave, or whatever you want to call it. And this is kind of a Renaissance tile color, just a very light tan. You can do this on any color tile. But I wanted to do this because I really like how it looks when you add the white charcoal pencil on it. Okay, so we have all our little curly things. Now we're going to go kind of towards the back part and along the bottom, and just come down here and meet at the bottom here. Okay, so like your little curl is coming around and then catch on, come down to the bottom. Just continue going across like that. Down to the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it so I can do the same thing on this side. And I'm going to just kind of come around, meet at the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to start adding our auras. So where you have the curl, I'm going to start adding just auras, slightly curved, all the way down. Okay. I am very happy that spring is here. It's still a little cool in some places, but it's been cool nights and warm days here in Southeast Texas. My garden has a lot of kale in it, and it loves this weather. I harvested a lot this morning. I freeze it, and then I put it in my smoothies in the morning. Okay, now I'm going to turn it and do the other side, same thing. You can play around with putting things that come in and out of these little loops. I have not seen many people that have used this pattern. I looked on Zentangle Mosaic, sorry, Mosaic, and I found only one. All right, one more. Okay, there we go. Line dancing. I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, on the happy pattern, I'm going to flip this over. I have a note here, and this is what she says on her step outs. And this one is in the tanglepatterns.com. She says this is the basic shape that you're going to use in this flower. And you start with just putting some little X's or asterisk, whatever you want to call this, various lengths on these. And then put the little dots at the end. They're not meant to be any kind of perfect. And then the next thing you do is to start adding these little basic shapes all around. And so just up and down, and you're going to make sure you keep turning your tile. Doesn't have to be any kind of a perfectly shaped flower. I want a little bit of a round shape to it. Okay. And then, as you can see, then you just go behind it and start adding more of those shapes, but a little bit bigger. And the ones that you're putting behind do connect a little bit. Okay, so that's basically it. Very simple little flower. And then when you put the shading behind it, it's really cute. So here's our tile again. And so I'm just going to start adding the little lines. Excuse me, the little dots on each side. Okay. And now we're going to start with our little shapes all around. Okay. Now we go behind. A little bit bigger. Keep turning your tile. And there's our first happy flower. Let's do a little bit smaller one here. However many of those little lines in the middle. On this one, I think it had 8. This one has 6. Okay, now we're going to put the larger petals behind. Remembering to turn your tile, relax your shoulders, breathe. And there's another little flower. And like I said, these look better after they are shaded. I'm going to come down here and do another one. Be another big one. Now we start the petals. Turning your tile. My pen isn't doing very well. Okay. And I could do two little ones across here. Okay, that's what we have so far. I think I'll do another big one across here. And it's interesting, if you'll go to the step outs, and like I said, I'll leave a link, and it goes to Nadine's site, Nadine Roller. It's not roller. I'm pretty sure she pronounces it roller. She has some really cool ideas for using these as little flowers or as like blossoms on branches on a tree. Was one of the ways that she did it. And she doesn't try to keep these perfectly even, so that's why it's just a relaxing and fun, happy little flower. Okay. Now we're going to do the outside. I'm not happy with how my pen is doing. There we go. Maybe a little one here. The other thing that happened this week is Project Pack 17 from Zentangle. And I'll be the first to admit that I have not kept up with that one. But you can see the videos on the Zentangle channel on YouTube, or you can find them in the Mosaic app, or go to zentangle.com. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop there. Okay, so I'm going to start some shading now. And I'm going to begin in the center with the line dancing. And I'm just going to put some graphite along the edge on both sides. You don't need much. You can always come back later and add more. And if you're doing this on white paper, you could color your flowers or color these little, I want to call them bugles, because there's a snack here in the United States that is made out of corn, and it looks like these shapes. And then they're called bugles. So we are adding shading to our line dancing bugles. And I might add color to my flowers. I'm not sure yet. Excuse me. Okay, so now I'm getting my blending stuff. And I'm just going to soften that on each side. I'm not pulling it all the way into the center because I want to leave that open. I'm going to put the white charcoal down that center. And that's what really makes it look good. Okay. And I had to pull out my little paper clip and push down through the center of this to push the end out, so it's a little bit more sharp on this one. I do have a tendency to flatten the ends of these. And I did try making these a little bit smaller, because if you're going to make a border, you definitely need to be smaller, and it's not quite as easy to shade them. Okay, so now I'm going to get the white charcoal pencil, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a highlight right down the center of each of these. That's my favorite thing about working with this kind of paper, is how the white shows up so well. Okay. Now I have my blending stump that I have marked for white to try to keep it clean. And then I'm just going to soften each one of those white lines just a little bit. Isn't that cool? I just love how that looks. I thought that was a really fun pattern. I had never seen it until this weekend when I spotted it on Instagram. Okay, on these flowers, I'm going to put a little bit of graphite in the center, and then I'm just going to go along the outside edge of each of these petals. Turn your tile to make it easier to be pointing your pencil toward that line. That's one of the tricks to shading that is helpful. Okay, and then soften those lines. And come up just a little bit where you see the other lines. And again out here, soften it. Okay. Again, just a little bit of graphite in the center of each of these. And this time I'm just kind of staying on the line. See how that does. And then a little bit of shading on the outside. And soften it. Okay. Let's soften this a little bit more. It looks kind of harsh. And if you ever decide that there's too much in the center, if you have a kneaded eraser, I usually just work it around a little bit to soften it. I've had this for a long time. You can just very lightly pick up a little bit of that shading if you feel like you need to. I'm going to do that on this one too. Just lighten it a little bit. Okay. Still looks darker on the screen than it does actually on my tile. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going to do the other side. Do it a little bit softer so I don't get so dark. I did a tile this week that was just 6 or 8, I can't remember now, of the classic Zentangle patterns. And to me, that's very relaxing. Just black pen on a white tile. I'm not worrying about anything, just drawing some favorite old tangles. I think I get stressed by some of the more detailed patterns just because I'm a recovering perfectionist and I'm trying to do things perfectly and trying to remind myself not to try to do that. Okay, 1 to go. Again, remembering to turn your tile, make it easier on your hand. Okay, I'm wondering, excuse me, how this would look if we put just a little bit of white coming in and out. Not trying to get it on top of those dots at all. So just being careful going around. And then I'm going to get my white pencil and or blending stone, sorry. Soften that a little bit. I haven't tried this, so I'm just this is a test. It doesn't show up much on my paper, but it seems to show up more on the video. You could possibly use another color pastel pencil. And then just soften it a little bit. Since I did it to 2 of them, I'm going to do it to all of them and hope it looks good. If not, then we've learned, don't do that. It won't be easy to get it down here, but it's okay. Okay, let's see what we think. Okay, I was thinking maybe to just kind of tie these together a little bit, that I would add the pattern therefore. And this is a Zentangle pattern that is simply 3 dots. And I believe therefore is used in math equations. So let's just set these around in a few places. We could even put one inside one of these. And I'm just doing this randomly. Hopefully, like I said, it'll bring this tile all together. Just kind of step back and look at it. I'll try to make some of these a little more even. Yeah, I had noticed that that one had a kind of a white dot in the middle. Maybe make these a little bit more round where needed. All right. I think it needs one more. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. I think it was fun. It was just kind of an impromptu thing that I came up with this morning, and I was feeling a little bit better and happy that it's the first day of spring. Oops, that was the wrong one. See what I mean? I don't know where the other, there it is, where my other one went. Soften that a little bit. All right. Happy first day of spring. Do some line dancing and have fun with some happy flowers. Therefore, those were our 3 patterns. Happy, line dancing, and therefore. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. I hope spring is wonderful for you. I'm praying for peace around the world, and I hope there's peace in your home and happiness in your life. Thank you for watching my channel, for watching this video. please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.